Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. I'm still Steve and we're still working on this John Deere 430 crawler. So tons of stuff in primer, not too much old stuff left in green. Lots of metal parts here, fenders, the grill, the sod pan and the hood that are bare white metal from the sandblaster. So today I'm going to do a little bit of body work, not a whole lot. I don't like to use Bondo on my restorations or body filler or any of that. I think the dents and dings sometimes give it some character. You know, some of these things are 40 to 80 years old, right? So they've earned their badges, if you will. This hood does have a hole on the top here that's kind of worn through. I do want to fill that. I don't want a hole anywhere. There's a couple little wrinkles here on this side, so I'm just going to use I have a couple different hammers, pins, different pliers and whatnot to try to you know, work the metal, if you will, to try to get some of the bigger imperfections out. It's not a museum piece. It's not going to the Smithsonian, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But anyway, today's goal, I'm going to work on that. I'm not even going to record it because there's really nothing exciting to see, and it's going to be loud anyway. But we'll get the dents worked out, get this in primer, and then hopefully later this evening I could come out and get the yellow painted on the sides of the hood and on the sides of the grill. Yellow being the lighter of the two, between the yellow and the green. That's the first color you want to shoot. Once the yellow is set up and dried, I'll probably give it a day and a half or so. And then I'll tape everything off. And then a trick is to go back over the edges of the tape where you've masked and spray it back with that color that you're trying to cover up. So for an example, we'll use the yellow and green. I've sprayed the yellow. I've masked off the area that I want to remain yellow. And instead of just painting over that with the green, I want to go over the edges of that tape with the yellow again before I spray it with the green. If you've ever done masking over two different colors, sometimes you'll see, even if you have really good masking tape or painter's tape, you'll get a little bit of bleed through and it won't give you that nice solid crisp clean line. So going back over it in this case with the yellow, any of that bleed through will be the same yellow that I'm trying to keep and mask. And then once we go over it with the green, we'll let it dry and we peel it back. We should have a nice clean crisp line, you know, defining between the yellow and the green. So anyway, I'll probably get some more video when once this is done and primed and we're getting ready to shoot some yellow on there. Tomorrow I've got a few other pieces, the tank, the air filter, small pieces I need to wire wheel down. We'll get those in primer as well. And then Sunday we'll get everything closed off, we'll get the ventilation going. We'll get the respirators on, and we'll be shooting a whole bunch of green paint. So hopefully that should be everything on this crawler that's green is getting painted, with a couple little pieces here and there. All the parts I need to get this thing back running and driving again should be in, right? The plug wires, fan belt, radiator hoses, fluids, all that. So hopefully soon we'll have a completely restored 430 crawler on cribbing. The only thing that'll be missing is the undercarriage. So there's still a lot of work to be done with the rollers, the hubs, the sprockets, the tracks. But we're making progress. We're getting there. So anyway, just a quick paint video. That's all this one's going to be, and hopefully everything comes out good. So I'll share some of my tips and tricks with you. Everybody has their own way of doing paint. I'll show you what I do, and if it works for you, great. If you've got a better way, then more power to you. So alright, I'm going to get to work. Alright, so got everything primed. Seat, hood, grill, sod pan, fenders, and the brush guard. So I'm going to throw some yellow on the hood, some yellow on the grill. It's pretty much just this section here. It doesn't matter if I get yellow on this other stuff, it's all going to get covered anyway, but I want to get a good coat of yellow on this panel on each side, and then the bottom section of the hood down here. Alrighty, well, that's going to wrap it up for today. The grill and the hood, we got the yellow on. I want those dry through tomorrow. And then we'll tape everything off probably tomorrow afternoon, and I'll spray the tape line with the yellow again to prevent that bleed through. And then Sunday we'll get the whole enclosure here closed in, and we'll just go crazy with some green paint. and get her done. So the John Deere green with the hardener, when you spray it, honestly, it's dry to the touch within a few hours. It doesn't take long at all, but we'll spray everything hopefully Sunday morning, and hopefully by Sunday evening I can get everything pulled down and actually start putting things back on the tractor again. So I would venture to say that within the next week or so, everything should be back on there. Fluids, belt, plugs, running. I got the chrome exhaust in for it today, along with the radiator hoses and everything. So it's getting there. So like I said, tomorrow I've got some more prep work to do and allow this yellow to dry some more so we can mask it, and then we'll shoot green on Sunday. So I guess with the magic of video, it's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Alright, so here we are, Saturday morning. The yellow paint dried. It's amazing. It looks really good. Came out pretty good. So you can see on the grill here, I've already masked off the yellow area that we want to keep. There's yellow overspray on the green area. No big deal. The green's going to cover that. You'll never even know. But it's the only way to get a good, confirmation that you have yellow all the way to the edges of where you want the yellow to show up. So anyway, now that I've got this mask, like I had mentioned earlier or yesterday, before I spray the green, which is probably not going to be till tomorrow, I'm going to take the yellow again and I'm going to go back over the edges of anywhere I masked. Now it's not so much important here because there's gaps in between, but the biggest area would be, let me zoom this in over here, here on the hood. So this whole bottom half remains yellow, and then the top half is going to be green. So I ensured that I had one solid uniform piece of tape going all the way across to give me that nice perfect straight line. You don't want to have, staggering pieces of tape that are only 10 inches long or whatever. Anyway, this is the critical area on this line out of this whole paint job, really. So now that this is masked off, I've ensured I've really pressed on there well to try to get it as tight as I can. But I'll go back over this joint, if you will, with the yellow paint. So in the event that there is any bleed through underneath that tape that I've masked off, it's just going to be the yellow paint. So no harm, no foul there. And then we'll shoot the whole thing with green tomorrow, and when we peel this tape off, hopefully, if all goes well, we should have a nice, perfect, crisp, clean line between the yellow and the green. Alright, so like I said, there isn't much yellow on here, just the small areas on the grill, and the hood's kind of a large area. I guess I probably could have broke up the spray gun and sprayed it, but John Deere rattle can, I wouldn't get any other paint except John Deere, whether it's in the can or the quart or the gallon. But for what we're doing here, the rattle can's fine. It's not even worth breaking out the sprayer and the compressor. We'll save that for when we do the green. But so basically, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go around the edges and kind of seal the tape, prevent any green bleed through on the yellow. Alright, well, the time has come. So as you can see, I've got my enclosed area out here encapsulated with plastic. It's pretty much just to keep spray dust from going all over the place. My enclosure here is right next to my house, so it keeps the green paint off the siding. We've got a fan that I'll have back on when I start spraying. It just helps move some of the air through. There is a small opening on that end and a small opening on that end, so it does help air go through and keep the floating paint dust particulate from settling on paint that's trying to dry. So we do want air moving for a little bit while I'm spraying. Once I'm done spraying, then I'll go ahead and shut the fan off so that we're not pulling dirt and dust from outside into here. I'll show you the paint and the hardener and everything in the garage here in a minute, but once I spray this stuff, within 45 minutes to an hour, it's almost dry to the touch. I mean, it's amazing how fast this stuff dries. So once I spray everything, I'll shut the fan off. I'll just walk away, let this stuff sit for about an hour or so, and then usually I'll come out and I'll pull the plastic down just to get a little more fresh air flow. I feel that it helps the drying process a little bit. Plus it prevents, gusts of winds from blowing the plastic and running into things that I've just painted. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's get some paint going. Before I get the compressor out and actually spray everything, again, I have the John Deere green paint. This is the classic green. It's the right color for this age tractor. But basically I'll take these rattle cans and I'm going to go around in some of the areas that are hard to get to with the spray gun, right? So, excuse me, a lot of these little nooks and crannies, I'll really get in there to make sure that I at least have all the primer covered. And then that way there, when we come out with the spray gun, I feel the quality of the paint on the spray gun is far superior to the rattle can. But the last thing we want to do is spray everything with the gun and then come back and find that we missed a spot and I can still see some gray primer, and now I have to go over it with the can and it might look a little different from the spray. So that's the only tip I can really give you. Get a couple cans of this, go through, get all the areas that are hard to get, little cracks and crevices. It's going to make spraying a whole lot easier. So I'm going to knock that out real quick and then I'll show you the paint that I use and we'll get to spraying. So, as you can see, it seems like quite a bit of paint to prep with, but I assure you this is what needs to happen in order to get a good final coat with the spray gun. Now these bigger parts like the dash and even the seat, I don't think I even did anything on the seat. We did a little on the grill. Just some hard to reach areas, some of this stuff on the brackets of the fenders I did. But anyway, the main body of the tractor with the engine and all those little gaps and crevices, it's real easy to, when you get the big gun and you spray, to miss areas. And there's nothing worse than having this like perfect shiny glossy paint job on here to go back and see that you have areas of gray primer that you missed. So rest assured, I'm sure there's still going to be spots that I've missed, but this definitely cuts it down and minimizes it quite a bit. So let's go to the garage. I'll show you the paint and what I use. Here's what I use when I paint. It's really nothing that complicated. There's no professional equipment here. So the spray guns that I use, they're Husky. So they're from, was that Home Depot, I think, has Husky, right? Yeah, so there's a kit there where you can get 2 of these HVLP guns. So it'll come with like 2 guns, 2 hoppers, all kinds of fittings and adapters. I think it even has some smaller hoppers for the paint. But it's a really awesome kit. I think it's under $100. The last time I bought them, they were like 80. So just the way the way things are, everything goes up. But I can't imagine they're more than $100 for the kit. But it's an awesome spray gun kit. I use it for all my tractors. So those are the guns that I use. Respirator, always. You can see just from that small time that I was over there spraying with the rattle cans, you can see that these filters have already turned green, and that was just a little bit of rattle can spray So these were brand new. I put these filters in brand new. So definitely wear a respirator. This is the money right here. So first of all, let me get the paint real quick because I forgot to bring that over. So the paint that we're using, John Deere Classic Green. I've got a couple quarts of it. Really doesn't take much, to be honest with you, but I always buy the John Deere paint. I think the quarts are like 25, 30 bucks, but well worth it. And again, this is the money one right here. So this is Valspar. Valspar is the company who makes John Deere's paint. And I got this at the dealership. I think there's a label on here somewhere where it says not to sell it. Yeah, for industrial use only by professional trained painters, not for sale or use by the general public. Well, I'm definitely not a professional, but I've done it once or twice. Anyway, this is a 1 pint can. Okay, it's not very big, 1 pint, and it's like 70 bucks. But this pint will last you a long time. Here you can see I have some still in this can. It's got yellow paint from when I did a Farmall Cub. It's got red paint when I did my roll pack steamroller. So it'll last a long time. In fact, what's in here will probably be enough to do the crawler today. I just like to have a standby in case. But it doesn't take very much. I don't know the mix ratios. I just kind of eyeball it from what I know I've been using. But it doesn't take much at all, I'd say. So this is where I mix my paint, just a standard ball jar. So this one here is a 24 ounce cup or jar. So what I'll do is I'll fill it to the 24, and then I'll probably put like, I don't know, maybe 4 ounces of this stuff, 3 to 4 ounces. It's not too much, whatever that ratio is. But what's nice about these is you can put the paint in, you can put the hardener in, you can seal it up, and you can mix it. And it mixes perfectly well. And then I transfer this right from the jar into the hopper of my spray gun. When I run out of paint, I come back, I mix some more in this jar, mix it up, refill my hopper, and rinse, wash, and repeat. Keep going on and on. I do not put thinner in my paint. This paint is not very thick as it is, and this hardener is really going to thin it down quite a bit, plenty to spray. So this hardener, not only what it says it does, it hardens the paint, but it gives it a super glossy look to it. So I wouldn't ever paint a tractor without using this again. The first John Deere that I restored was my John Deere H, and I sprayed it with the paint with a little bit of the John Deere paint thinner, and it dried okay, it looked okay, but it always had like a soft texture to it. I always felt like I could scratch it easy with my fingernail. Mixing this hardener in here, it's going to dry, like I said, super fast. About 45 minutes from when we're done spraying, I can almost go out there and handle the parts, but I always just let them sit overnight. But this hardener, like I said, well worth the money. It's going to make your paint super hard and durable, scratch and chip and damage resistant, and it really makes a glossy pop. It's like putting clear coat on. So, all right, so we got the guns, the paint, the hardener, the mixing device, the respirators, obviously some stir sticks and things to open cans. We got rubber gloves, rags. I always have an extra spray gun on hand ready to go. I've got 4 of these things. In the event I'm halfway through spraying and I have a jam up or something messed up with one of these guns, the last thing I want to do is stop, twiddle with them, trying to clean and adjust. This one here, I can just fill the next hopper and keep rolling with it. I'll deal with that messed up gun later. I don't usually have problems, but if you don't have it set up like that, you're going to have problems. So anyway, that's it for my kit. There's nothing really, like I said, nothing here that's out of the ordinary. The paint and the hardener I get from John Deere. The respirator, gloves, guns, it's all from Home Depot. Oh yeah, the paint thinner is from Deere also. So the paint thinner, I use that for cleaning the guns out. That's really the only thing I use the paint thinner for. So anyway, that's the supplies. I'm going to suit up. I got a sweatshirt, a hoodie sweatshirt, my respirator, some gloves, and I'm going to spray. I'm going to try to get a little bit of video, but I'm not trying to mess up my camera with the spray. So at a minimum, if I don't get any of me spraying, I'll at least get some video of the finished product when we're done. Alright, let's throw down some paint. think we're done. So it's been about 30 minutes since I finished spraying. So it's starting to set up pretty good. Probably going to give it another half hour or so, and then I'll come in and take down all this plastic and let some airflow get through here. So it's not too bad. Came out alright. There's some little dents and dings in the hood. That's what you're seeing as far as imperfections. Back of the deluxe seat has some pitting and stuff, but like I said, I'm not a Bondo filler fan. The scratches, dents, and dings that are in it are part of the history of the tractor. It gives it some character, so they're not museum pieces. I like to have them, you know, in good mechanical working condition and painted to basically just preserve them and kind of make them look a little better, you know. So it's definitely not a tractor you'll see on the Meekum Gone farming auction or anything like that. I mean, you can see all the dents and dings in the bottom of the sod pan. So, and of course, you know, I mean, it's a cast tractor. See, I can already touch this thing. It's already pretty dry. I'm telling you, that hardware is amazing stuff. It really gives it a good shine. I'm not sure if you're seeing that in the video. There you go. You can kind of see the shine on the cover there. Still looks wet, but dry. That's it for painting. It's hot. I'm tired. I'm ready for a shower. So anyway, appreciate you continuing to support and watch the channel. And until next time, peace.